right, I'm here with Grace Alexander. She is a professional triathlete, and she was gracious enough to give us a few minutes of her time to tell us about her experience here at Zone. Thanks for joining us, Grace.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
Well, before we dive into what it is to be a professional triathlete, I would love to first hear, how did you hear about Zone? Because I know you're newer to the area. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so luckily I have a friend that has been in Greenville for 15 plus years. She's very active in the triathlon community. So when I knew I was moving here, I immediately reached out to her and asked her for just any like a list of people that she used to help her triathlon training, and that included a PT. So she immediately said that you were the best in the area, and I take her advice pretty seriously because she's been at it for a while. And so, yeah, I came to you, I think, within the first week of moving here and have been seeing you bi-weekly ever since.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend, and so it just worked out well for a transition of care from your PT where you used to live to here because we were able to communicate before you even moved to the area. So that was fun to get to know you a little bit on the front end, hear about what your upcoming race schedule was so that we can go ahead and start formulating a plan and hit the ground running. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. So you have a really unique job that you get to compete as a triathlete. For those that aren't familiar, it's swim, bike, and run all in one event. So tell us about some of the unique demands that that places on your body and just the time demand from your week standpoint.
Yeah, so I come from a swimming background and a little bit of a running background, but the bulk of my experience was swimming in college. And with swimming, you're a lot less likely to develop injuries because it's much lower impact than running and a little bit cycling. And so when I started triathlon training, I found that my body was developing a lot more aches and pains and stuff when I was picking up my run volume and intensity. So it's been a bit of a challenge for me to recognize like what my body's telling me and what pains are okay to run through, what pains need addressing pretty quickly. And that's been a learning process. And that's where seeing a PT has been really helpful just as a almost like peace of mind because I use a lot of your feedback to help my confidence. If I don't see that you're freaking out about something that I'm freaking out about, I feel a lot better about it. Um, but training as a triathlete, I've mostly had issues with overuse injuries, particularly with the run. And I'm actually currently dealing with some hip stuff that affects the bike a little bit. And that's why what we've been working on a lot. So with my job being my body, pretty much, it's definitely been worth investing in a PT so that I can move forward with my training in day-to-day life and really push my body to be the best athlete I can be and not have to worry about aches, pains, and injuries preventing me from doing what I need to do to get to the start line.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And certainly your hip pain or niggles is what we like to call it in the endurance world, are or is the thing that brought you to see us. You had a couple other little aches and pains. What are some of the other little things that you've had to deal with that another triathlete that's hesitant to come in see us could maybe relate with that we've been able to address?
Yeah, I have a lot of occurrences with calf and specifically soleus overuse injuries. And in the past, I have been afraid to put too much work and stress on them because I'm already stressing them in training. So we've been working on doing exercises to strengthen my calf and my soleus. I also have hamstring tendinopathy, so that's been an issue in the past, but I've been able to work through that, and now it's getting to a point where it's completely manageable. Um, a little bit of shoulder pain with open water swimming specifically. But again, we've been working through that and been able to manage it, especially as my pool switches to long course. And that tends to also aggravate it a little bit. But yeah, all of it's been trending better. And of course, this is always a process, and it's not something that after one visit, it's like you're fixed. As much as we want that,
Yeah,
that's something you learn being an athlete. So yeah.
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that last piece. Like, I wish that I could just snap my fingers and help everyone feel better instantly. But the cool thing is that we've made some really big gains with you out of the gate, so that you can have, I mean, you set some PRs in your running performances already at a couple of different distances. And your bike splits have been, I think, faster than where they were in some of the same races this year compared to last year. So still able to make progress. And I think from my perspective, I get to have fun is because you have a coach. So for some people, I wear lots of hats. I get to be coach and PT and cheerleader. But when you have a coach, I get to be more of like a fine-tuned precision person and just come in and give you a couple of little things to tweak your training. Because especially where you are right now in peak race season, my job is not to just give you a whole bunch of different things to challenge your body. It's to go, how can we make the most efficient changes to help pain and help performance without throwing a big wrench in the whole program that you and your coach have sat down and planned out your entire season. So, a couple things on that. One, it's an honor to get to have your trust to be able to partner with you and work with you on that. And then for anyone that's watching this video, I I want to try to change as few things as possible with athletes that are coming to see me, unless they need to be changed, because you're already very successful at what you do. So you don't need me to reinvent the wheel. You just need me to put my thinking cap on to be able to come in and go, where can we make some little tweaks so that your soleus isn't bothering you in mile 11 of a 13.1 mile run, or that transition from the bike to the run with your right hip. So we can help some of those things. So that part's a lot of fun for me, where I just get to come in and figure those things out with you.
Yeah.
And it's a partnership, right? So um, hopefully I've communicated what we've been working on well. But what are some of your main takeaways from our time together so far?
Um, this is something that I think it's almost been ingrained in us for the past, I don't know, few years or decades, where you're told when something hurts to rest it and to ice it and to recover that way. But I think what I've learned from you and just more current knowledge is that you can just modify the movement a little bit. And what I like about you is that you don't, it doesn't make it feel like I need to sit out ever. It's not like I'm going to be completely on like sidelined for a race or something. It's more about like how can we change a little bit again, like what we're doing so that you can still train in a way that moves you forward. It just might be altered a little bit.
If that's your biggest takeaway, I love it. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to communicate to the whole population, but especially to our athletic population, is if we just rest something, certainly people will feel better, but that muscle, tissue, joint, body, whatever, it's all going to atrophy and decondition. And unfortunately, when people start feeling better, then they start ramping up too quickly. And then we just get stuck in this rinse repeat cycle of pain and injury. And then you feel better and you start over again. And so we want to try to keep that capacity high while we're helping some things to recover. So that's awesome. So that might answer my next question, but maybe you have a couple other thoughts. What would you say that you have found to be most beneficial, or that you've liked the most about coming and working here at Zone?
Um, yeah, I guess I answered it a little bit in the before, but also going back to the first answer, with just confidence, just having someone to lean on that, I don't only talk to you within our sessions, but also I can text you, call you if something pops up, or if I have a question about what's the best way to do this run. Should it be on soft surface? Should it be on trails? Should it be on, running on concrete? Uh, so it's just nice to have someone to reach out to give that sense of confidence. So I'm not worrying if I'm making the right decision. Along with that, I've actually found the breathing with the exercises to be very helpful. Um, I think breathing is overlooked a lot, and I know that you've really made a point that a lot of people do overlook breathing a lot and how much it
Mhm.
can impact our movement.
Yeah, for sure. We almost built this clinic around the idea of helping to restore breathing patterns. That's probably a little too simplistic of a way to say it, but we do value people's ability to breathe very much so. And there's a huge benefit when we can help somebody learn how to breathe better to get out of pain and then help them to be able to move better. So I love that that's also one of the takeaways that you've had with our so far short time together. So if there's somebody watching this video, they're still skeptical after listening to you, what would you tell them?
I would say that if you have something bothering you that is impacting what you love to do or even just your daily life, this is the one body that you get. And if you have an opportunity to get help to make it better, it's worth the investment because if you want to live a long, healthy life, you're probably going to have to deal with these little things. And zone physical therapy has helped me deal with mine. So I'm happy to brag about y'all and hopefully help other people see that it's worth it.
Awesome. Well, Grace, it's been an honor to be able to work with you, and I look forward to getting to work with you the rest of this season and for hopefully many more seasons to come. I'm going to brag on you a little bit. We're early in the season, and you already have multiple top 10 finishes at some national and international events. And you've got a big one coming up in about a week from the time of this recording, and then some more after that. So best of luck to you this season. Thank you so much for your time and your trust in us here at Zone, and we are excited to cheer you on for the rest of the season.
Thank you.